My favourite place in Shetland, I have a number of favourite places, but the one that stands out is the island that I come from in Gunnista, Bressay, which is the north end of Bressay, looking at our falls, etc. I started going there more when I was sort of in my early teens, and that's a while ago now, so it's held a lot for me over a lot of years, but probably knowing me, not so much in my formative years, but from my teenage years onwards, very much so, and it's a place I've grown to love, and as you get older, and these people are not around anymore, especially the people that originally lived there, because these were the real original characters of Bressay, the crofters, the hard workers really, and they worked hard and they played hard, and it was a place that really had just a lot of great memories for me, and it still does. It still echoes with terrific memories and good fun memories every time you go back to the old houses, all of which are more or less abandoned now. As the characters died off, the place itself died off, but it's still got that feeling when you go back to it, that all the life that it's always had, and you still have these beautiful seascapes and views, sunsets. It's just a place where, really for me in Bressay, everything comes together, although it's not where I was born on the island. Yeah, I mean, I suppose we watched it slowly die, which was sad, for a lovely place, and for a place that has all, you know, the services that folk could build houses with. It was a strange feeling to sort of watch it die one by one, as each of the older characters. It was a very elderly generation that was staying there latterly and living there, and it was kind of sad to watch it die, and it was almost like that last switch of a light going out where the bulb was dimming and dimming the whole time, and when the last character, which really was my wife's grandfather, left the place, he left to go into a care home before he died. You know, it really was, well, the last person who'd switch out the light, because that's exactly what happened to the place. And it's been really nice to see it kind of come back to life now, because there's people crofting there that are not necessarily staying there, but that brings a hive activity to it. And now some of my wife's family have said, well, this is our family home, and they've built their houses there. So it's almost getting away from what you do in everyday life and going back to what was important to you in the first instance. And you know, nobody there is too bothered if you were at a great concert or met Elvis Costello last night or something. They're just glad to see you for who you are, and I think that's great, because it is, you just come right back down to earth, and the conversations are the conversations we were having 30 years ago. Nobody's different, there's no airs and graces, and it's just great to actually switch off and go to somewhere that really is a bit of what life is all about, really. You know, it was just a great social place, and I mind a wonderful story when the Klondikers were all anchored off there, and there was 90 or 100 Klondikers, and they were looking for somewhere near that had a church, and they thought there must be a church in Bressay, because all these folk were turning up and rolling up in cars and everything to see the old characters that lived there and have their morning with them, and there was just so many people that came. You know, the Klondikers said, that must be a church there, can we come to it? And I said, well, you can come, but you're not going to find a church, I'm afraid. But it was just that wonderful, different place, and it was a bit of the old world in the new for a while. And as I say, that characters have gone, but oh yeah, if there is such a thing as spirits, their spirits are still there, and I always look forward to going back. I always am happy when I'm there, and I love to just, when we get the chance, wander around the place, and as I say, you suddenly realise what life's all about sometimes when you're wandering, and why some of the things we put down as being so important are in the bigger picture not really that important at all. I've never seen, you know, a social life like that. It was just so spontaneous. It didn't have to be arranged, it didn't have to be managed, and yet it was some of the best times that you had. It was just naturally people being social with each other. You didn't have to arrange to meet at 7:30 and, you know, have a meal there and be ready to go home at 1 in the morning. It was just something that happened and was natural. And so again, a lot of my memories is based around just fantastic times, and I almost no appreciating that times until they were gone, and you think then, wow, that was something special, and I can't go anywhere else in the whole world and find something like that again. When it died, and you just think that was terrific. But every time I come back into the place, without fail, that memories immediately come back again, and you know, you just have to look at the houses that it happened in, and they're all still standing there with the roofs on and everything else, and you still feel you can open the door, walk in, and it'd be like it was 30 years ago, and I think that's a good feeling. That's what I really love about the place.